Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here in The Sims 4 and we are back building in Ravenswood. Yes, this is going to be the second build I've done here. It feels like this pack came out so long ago and yet not that long ago. I think because I'm kind of doing the videos every 2 weeks, it feels like so much time has passed by the time I actually do any videos for this. It literally all depends on when sort of the game drops in the sort of schedule. I don't know. We'll have to see about the future. I will leave it at that, but it may all change. Let's leave it there. Anyway, this is on a 30 by 30 lot in Whispering Glen. And we actually turned this into a huge house. It doesn't look like it, but this actually ends up going to be a 5-bedroom house. It's a bit of a monster. I have to be fair, and I'm kind of down for that. So it has 3 floors, as you can see. I'm currently working on sort of the shell and then the floor plan in here and getting all the roofing in and things like that. Yeah, but we somehow managed to get so much in here, and also the rooms are quite big. There's enough sort of space in them for it to actually feel like it works. They're not really tiny kind of cramped rooms, which obviously is something I don't do. I go big, but yeah, to try and get this actually done on a 30 by 30 lot, it was quite a good one. I didn't necessarily think I would be able to get it in, because you might be able to tell I have a sim or family on the lot, and they are a wonderful family of 5. They have just had a grandpa move in with them. Well, I say just move in with them, but he has now passed, so he is actually in ghost form, which I thought was a lovely feature for the life and death and kind of the sort of expansion of ghosts, and I really wanted to kind of play around with that for this build. So I've kind of done that, and we sort of said that grandpa was maybe living on his own, but he was getting a little bit old and he wanted to spend time with the grandchildren, and he wanted to kind of be in that sort of family environment for a little while longer. And so he moved in with his I believe it's his son. Yeah, if I'm remembering the family tree of how I created the family, yes, then he got to see the grandchildren, and yeah, gets to live in here. And they've made a kind of what I would kind of think as maybe the home office, and they've kind of turned that into a bedroom for him, which I think is a little bit more realistic. So it does have the only kind of computer, if I can even really call it that, because it's the typewriter. You'll see it later on. I'm probably giving all the spoilers away, but anyway, this is me. What do I ever hide? It has the sort of typewriter computer in it, and it has bookshelves and things like that, and it's maybe a little bit of an office that they've just kind of put a bed and a sort of dresser in for him, and that's kind of where he's been for the last little while, sort of thing. And now he's passed over, but he's still very much in the family, and he's hanging out and wanting to spend time with them all in there. That's this kind of family I had in my mind. You might just be able to see them in here. We actually have a child and a teenager. The ones that we actually make bedrooms for. And then obviously the parents upstairs as well, and a toddler. And just if anybody's watching from any of the last videos, I did check before I decorated the nursery as to what age the little one is. So yes, we are now all correct. But yeah. Anyway, whilst I have been waffling for the last few minutes, we have been building this house. As you can see, we've used the new tiles. I love these tiles, I have to be honest. They are gorgeous. In this sort of really nice red sort of dark sort of burgundy colour. It's really in at the moment as well, actually. I mean, if you're watching this right now, then yes. Yeah, I really like it. And I've kind of mixed it all up a bit. So you've kind of got like this sort of light sort of stone brickwork, kind of mixed in with a light stone. Then kind of hints of like a darker kind of brown coming through as well, which I think looks really good. I actually love what I've done with the sort of like eaves. I've used 2 different types of sort of eave on here, and one of them I've got a feeling, and don't quote me on this, but I've got a feeling it is either the growing together one, I think, maybe, and it works really well because it's kind of got like a little sort of trellis kind of pattern on, and I thought it would be perfect for kind of a Victorian kind of build that I'm really sort of going for with this build in here, and how yeah, and then obviously covering it up with ivy. We've done all the windows again, like normal. I show you the front of things, I don't tend to show you the back, and that's going to be the same with the landscaping. There is actually quite a big back garden in here, but for the sake of this video being like an hour long, things had to be cut, sadly. And yeah, the gardens and kind of the back of the property tend to don't get so much love, I've got to be honest. I don't necessarily know why, but yeah, they're kind of forgotten in the videos, but very much done actually in the build as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this house. If you do, then please give it a big thumbs up, and you can also download this right now from the gallery. Make sure to check out what I have actually called it down in the description. I have a feeling it's going to be the old Victorian Mansion, because it is going to be part of the historic collection that I'm building. So what have we done so far? We've done Georgian, we've done Tudor, and we're now on to Victorian, and these kind of packs work brilliantly. And it was kind of weird because I was sort of looking at this kind of about maybe 3-4 months ago, before sort of Life and Death was even like announced. I was like, okay, I really need to do another one. What do I do? Kind of flicking through, looking at all of the different kind of styles that sort of we have, and deciding what to do, and then didn't actually decide on anything. So I put everything on hold, and then Life and Death came out, and I thought this would be perfect for a gorgeous, nice sort of Victorian mansion. Kind of, it's not quite a mansion as what I would describe as a mansion. This is kind of a very big, nice house. But it's definitely a house more than a mansion in here. But it has lots of bedrooms, lots of space, a gorgeous dining room, and yeah, I like the exterior, the interior, as this house as well. I think I was a little bit more relaxed with this one, and I think because of obviously all of the new items, and I tried to use them where I can, where they kind of make sense. But it just, yeah, the whole look of it, I'm actually really, really happy with how this house turned out in here as well. And I hope you are too. Okay, working on this floor plan. This is the point where I tell you, this floor was an absolute nightmare to do. Because I knew I wanted the 3 kids' bedrooms up here. I had that in my mind, and I was like, right, we need 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms really on this floor. And it just it wouldn't work in my head. I couldn't do it in my head, and I couldn't do it actually in game either. So what you've just seen me do, you are going to see me redo, and that is because I sat here and I played around and I faffed, and I think it took something like an hour and a half just to figure out, and literally all of this was recorded because I didn't know which floor plan I was going to keep. I ended up taking it off to another lot. I was faffing around trying to work out what I wanted the kind of floor plans to be, and in the end I've done it. It's a bit of a squeeze, but I have done it. So we have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms up there. Then we have 1 downstairs, as I said earlier, for Grandpa, and then we have the huge master bedroom suite up on the top, which is only accessible via the ladder. But I felt like that would be a really nice sort of space for the grown-ups to be in here, and you'll sort of see how I do all of that as well. But you also saw me do the sort of front landscaping, as I said, just the front, using some of the new debug items as well, kind of the fencing and things like that. I think that just brought it all really nicely together, and trying to use as much of the new items as I can, but also trying to mix and match it all in. So this is very much a kind of life and death castle estates, I've got to be honest. I use quite a bit of that actually, although not the windows, which for me was a bit of a shocker. Werewolves, vampires, all of that kind of all mixed in, and then obviously the odd few little other packs here and there where it made sense. So I tried to make it as sort of as useful as I can, but also in a way kind of limiting. So you'll sort of see I quite easily flick into the sort of packs of what I want, because I kind of, in my head, I kind of have like an internal catalogue of what items are from what pack, which is great when I was live, because I didn't really need to scroll through so much. I kind of bring that in. I'm like, right, okay, I want that item, it's from this pack, and I kind of use that quite a bit in here to sort of work out where things are and what they are. So if you see me often flicking over into that corner, it's because I am sorting through all of the sort of folders and things like that in there. But this is the sort of entrance hallway. It's quite a small space, but then it kind of opens itself up really nicely. So you've obviously got that big sweeping stairs going in there, which annoyingly I don't have curved stairs. If I did, this would definitely be one of the homes to put it in, because it's one of the main sort of features of a Victorian house, is that sort of grand central kind of stairwell. But alas, we don't, so we just have a switchback in here, but using a lot of sort of little hints and things like that from the sort of Victorian homes, like the steep roofs, the tiles as well. I think they're not quite right, but as I say, I really like those tiles, and so yeah, that's what we've got. Also using the big bay window, and now bay windows are very much a Victorian thing, and anyone who knows me knows how much I hated curved walls until Life and Death came out. Now I can't stop building without them. So yeah, you have a huge bay window down here, and these glass windows, I think they're really designed more to be for like greenhouses and stuff like that, but they worked really, really well. So I managed to get those all in. It was a little bit of a faff because they don't like to be on curved walls. I feel like curved walls are one of those items where the Sims team were like, yay, let's go put curved walls in, and then they've forgotten about them. And it's one of those annoying things that the team do, and it's annoying. I think it's probably the only way I can describe it. It's annoying. If you're gonna do a feature, but make sure it works. If you're gonna keep doing a feature, keep rolling with it. We need more curved windows, or windows that can fit on curved walls, let's put it that way. These would be perfect if they were curved. They're not. It proved challenging to build them. Let me put it that way. It was a bit of a challenge. But anyway, we are in here working on this living room. Now, I wanted this to be very much sort of different heights. So you'll sort of see I play around with the platforms. Another thing that needs updating. Anyway. looking at the exposed kind of bare concrete of the walls because it doesn't have a trim. Anyway, we sort of have that sort of top area where we get in the fireplace and things like that. I didn't end up using the fireplace from Life and Death. It just didn't feel right. It's too big. It's very much kind of a it has that sort of skull on like every single swatch, and it wasn't really what I wanted for this build. So I ended up going for one, I do believe, from Discover University, which is a very nice one. So we've got that in there, little seating area, and then we kind of come down in here and we use a few different pieces that I thought would work in here really, really nicely. So obviously this is a home that has been modernised for modern living. Obviously in Victorian times they didn't have televisions, so I thought what would work in here really, really nicely, and ended up getting this easel in from the artist studio. I love this kit, but it works in here really, really nicely. Yes, they can use it. Yes, it looks good, and yeah, it just kind of fills this space out a little bit more rather than just having a big blocky kind of television in here. So yeah, that's what I really wanted. I've also used the little armchairs you can see here. They are from the new Cozy Cooch kit. Absolutely gorgeous, works perfectly with this. So I kind of ended up falling into a kind of a cream and blue, which I've got to say I love this kind of colour combo, along with like the dark, heavy sort of wooden floorboards. They work in here really, really nicely, and it fits. As I say, I really enjoyed furnishing this build, and it was actually a really nice build to just sort of sit down and build. Whereas normally I would be like, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, and I would like flick out, and then I'll be like doing other things. With this, I literally sat down. I think I did it in 2 recording sessions, so I think I did all of the exterior one day, and then I came in and literally just block furnished. But I was able to, which is not necessarily something I tend to do. I tend to kind of flick in and out of doing lots of other things. But for here, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna decorate. And I sat there for the whole time and recorded everything, which I thought was a bit of a miracle for me, I have to be fair. But anyway, enough about me. We are done the little dining area in here. I kind of had a bit of difficulty trying to find a blue chair that would kind of fit. So in the end, I've kind of gone for the sort of big chairs at the ends, and then I've kind of gone for a little bit more of a grey kind of colour in there for sort of the other chairs. I feel like this is a family that does a lot of socialising. They have maybe a lot of friends that come around, dinner parties, that kind of thing, and so they would need a kind of somebody, like a big table, big sort of entertaining kind of space for those dinner parties and things like that. Now this is the kind of office come kind of grandpa's bedroom, and I actually like how this kind of turned out. Yeah, we kind of get a few little bits of clutter in for them, and then yeah, it's a really nice sort of space. So obviously, yes, you can use this as a bedroom if you wanted to, or you could take this all out and change it up and put maybe some more bookshelves in, although there is a lot of bookshelves in this build. I've got to be fair, there is quite a few in here, but you can obviously change it to whatever you want. Maybe it's like an artist studio or something like that. There is only one very small window at the end here, and the external staircase runs straight through it. So that's what you can see here is the handrail. Again, Sims team, if you're going to do a feature, make sure it works properly. Because, yeah, now we can curve stairs to any which way we really like. It means that the handrails are kind of sticking out everywhere. But anyway, I feel like I've complained a lot today. I don't mean to be. So kind of down and moany. in here. I don't know if that's a word, but anyway, it is now in here. So yes, we've managed to get in the tarot cards in here as well. I feel like maybe that's something Granddad, sort of Grandpa wanted to do, kind of sit here, maybe reading, like, I don't know. They just kind of felt like an item that would work in here really, really nicely. And then you've kind of got that big sort of chest kind of wardrobe in there, which I thought was perfect. Maybe it's storage and they've just sort of taken it away and given it to Grandpa for clothing or something like that. And then this is the big sort of desk area, as I say, for a nice little work space in here as well. And yeah, it just works in here really well. I'm happy with how this all come through. A few little boxes of bits and pieces that he's brought with him in here, and yeah, this room is pretty much done now. We're going to jump onto the kitchen. So we're going down another platform level in here. This is a really small kitchen. It was quite a tight, as I said, it was a tight build to kind of get it all in. It's a bit of an odd shape, but I actually think it works in here. So obviously you have all of the bits and pieces that you desperately need in here. But yeah, it was a nice fun one to do, and you overlook the sort of back garden in here as well, which I think was a nice little touch in there. So yeah, I kind of brought in a little bit more of the brown kind of colour in here. I absolutely love this new kitchen. It's so simple, yet it really works, especially for like a build like this. But I feel like it can go in anywhere. If you're doing like a modern apartment or something, it can work, and it's so, yeah, it's just so useful. And we don't get many kitchens. However much we would love more kitchens, we don't really get any. So yeah, looking forward to sort of using this. And yeah, I just really like how it all comes together. But as usual, I have not shown you the pulling out of all the clutter. It didn't take me too long. I did try to minimize it as best as I possibly could in here. So there's areas where there's clutter, but there's not too much clutter around the place. But there's still plenty of sort of worktop space for you all to use in there as well. And then some more cabinets on the top. But we have now jumped upstairs. So this is actually going to be the nursery. So at this stage, I was kind of a bit bored of the colours that we were using, so I went cream. I thought a nice neutral kind of bedroom in here, and as I said earlier, I did check, we do in fact have a toddler. So using the new storybook sort of kit in here, using a lot of that actually in here, I pulled out all of this lot in here. I didn't necessarily know, obviously I do have the sort of family on the lot, but I kind of wanted to make this a little bit more sort of neutral. I feel like I tend to go very heavy on like the kids' bedrooms of like, oh, this is a girl's bedroom, this is the boy's bedroom, this is pink, this is blue, this is blah 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 blah. Anyway, I felt like a really nice sort of neutral kind of colouring in here. A little hints of yellow coming through, but then mostly in that sort of creamy, nice little colour that we have through here. But yeah, we do obviously go through into the kids' bedrooms now. They're a little bit different. They are a little bit different. So as usual, I don't show you the bathrooms for this. They're really, I mean, once you've seen me do one bathroom, you've seen me do like all of the bathrooms. Some of them are a little bit bigger. The one upstairs on sort of the in the kind of eaves up for the parents, that's a little bit different because it's a bit bigger, but most of them are pretty standard. They just have a toilet, a sink, either a shower and a bath or a bathroom. But this in here is now the kids' boys' bedroom. But as I said earlier, it's a very kind of a neutral, very soft sort of blue, very much different to the darker blue we've used downstairs. I struggled with this room because I didn't know kind of what colour scheme. I didn't really have like, although I have the family, I didn't really know like the kids' personality, like who they are, kind of what they wanted in here. So I knew I wanted a room in here, kind of using the blue and the cream, but nothing else. So it's a little bit of a more of a hodgepodge, but we've managed to get in the science sort of desk experiment table in here. We've kind of got a few other bits and pieces in. We've got the teddy, we've got the tiger that they can play with as well. So there is sort of bits and pieces for them to do. And I also get out the it's like the kind of kids journal sort of thing from Parenthood. I thought I put that on the desk. I thought that really worked in here. And then kind of a few science-y kind of posters in here as well. This bedroom. So you know where I said I spent ages trying to come up with a floor plan? This teen's bedroom. We only managed to get a single bed in, and it was a tight squeeze. It was an odd shaped room. It's in kind of this little area above the living space, and it does have a private balcony. But yeah, it's a bit of an odd shape, and there wasn't really much I could do about it other than like block things off and make it square, which I didn't really want to do. So I kind of thought, let's make a kind of a teen, kind of kid, tweeny kind of bedroom in here, using a lot of sort of the dark kind of purples in here, which I think are really, really working. And then a few little white accents. So the chair, the bedside table, the curtains, I thought it all just really mixed in here really, really well. So at first I thought we'll do it for a kid. But in the end, I actually changed it out to be a kind of a teen. I think that's actually in the family who I create in the end. But I mean, you can have it for whoever you like. That's absolutely fine. But that does have a laptop in it, which is the only real kind of computer, I guess. As the other one downstairs is just a typewriter. But I figured a nice little space in here for doing like schoolwork or things like that in here. But they are very much a kind of an artist, and they like painting and they like kind of drawing and things like that. So I thought lots of the artist kit would come in here really nicely, and it just gives something on this kind of little terrace area at the back here. It doesn't go anywhere. It does clip round to the corner a little bit more, but nothing too kind of major. But it's just a really nice, simple little space out there for them to sit out there and do some artwork and things like that. And obviously it's the second easel we actually have, because we have one downstairs as well. But that is this floor pretty much done. We're now going to jump up to the master suite up here in the sort of in the roof pieces up here. Now, I knew when I was building this, obviously, that it was going to be a Victorian home, and I wanted like a big sort of 3 kind of story kind of build, but also it not to feel so big. I feel like, especially because the first and second floor, no, ground and first floor, sorry, are on the medium wall heights, it felt quite tall. So this one kind of being tucked into kind of some of the roof pieces actually works in here really well. And then you have a little bit more of view at the back than you do at the front. I think it's very much a kind of a hidden area. So when you're looking at this from the front, you don't really see it, but it's definitely there, and you can see more of it from the kind of back of the property in here. Now this also has its own little sort of terrace area. I actually put out a couple of sun loungers on there. It's like a 3x3 square, so I thought, why not just place something like that down here? But we also get in the cream and the dark sort of navy blue that we used down in the sort of the living dining areas, things like that. I've brought that in because I feel like that was something like the parents would choose, like the colour for this house sort of thing, and that's kind of what they really wanted in here. But again, using a lot of items from the Life and Death, which I think really work in here for how this all comes together. And then mixing it up with a few other bits and pieces. The artwork, gorgeous for this as well. But I will leave you here with the screenshots. You can follow me on pretty much all social medias, and the links to those are in my link tree down below. But until next time, bye everyone!